Hi guys, so today we have another new product to review today. I've never reviewed one of these before. This is the EC Technology Robot Vacuum Cleaner. I'm very excited to do the video on this. Never done one before, so let's see how this goes. I've always wanted one. So let's get this baby unboxed and we'll see what she can do. Alright, so welcome back to another video guys. I hope you like the way we did the unboxing of this. It's a little bit different to how we usually do it, but I'm just trying to cut out a lot of the useless talk. So this is the EC Technology Robotic Vacuum Cleaner, and I have to admit I am fascinated by these types of things. I've never had the opportunity to review one before, so I'm extremely happy to have this one here. Now, this is currently on Amazon for $159.99, so it is very cheap for what you're getting. As you can see, you get the complete package here, which I'm going to go through in a moment, don't worry. Now, the great thing about this one is it can be used on carpet, tiles, wood floors, all of that good stuff. So in a house like mine, it's going to be very useful because I do have tiles, I have carpet and I have wood flooring, so that's going to be fantastic. It's great for all types of things like dirt, grit, dog hair, animal, whatever. We're going to test all of this out to see just how well this does actually vacuum up. Now, according to the instructions, it's basically when the battery goes flat on the actual Hoover, it will return to the charging dock on its own, so it will detect that it has a low battery and it will return on its own. So those are some of the features that I look for when buying one of these. So I'm just going to give you a quick demonstration of what you get in the box. And then we'll get on with the demonstration. Now, one thing I will say about this is they do give you this little booklet inside the actual box, and it gives you all of the information that you will need to maintain this and obviously clean it, and just in case you do get any issues out of it, all of the answers that you will need is in there. So I would recommend that you keep a hold of this for your own good. so it will save you having to keep contacting the customer service line. So yeah, and just out of, you know, transparency, if you do happen to get an issue, on the back of this book listed just there are all of the contact emails for support, just in case you do get any issues. So what do you get in the box? So you do get a fair amount of accessories. Now this strange looking device is a virtual wall. So from my understanding, say for example if you put that like that, these two sensors will beam out and stop this from going past it. So if you've got any areas in the house that you don't want this to go near, then that is the way you would do that. Now bear in mind that you've got the on-off switch at the back there, but this will need some batteries. So they do include the rechargeables inside that, which is pretty good. And if you look on the side just there, if my camera would focus, there's a little charging pin. Now on this little dock over here, if you come to the reverse of it, there is this little switch, which if you pull it, this little pin pops out, and then you can quite simply just attach it like so. And as you can see, the blue light is now flashing to let you know that that is recharging. So that takes care of that, which I think is pretty good. Now this is obviously the docking station. Now as I said in the previous video, once the battery on this gets to a certain low point, this will return to the docking station and charge itself automatically, so you actually don't need to interfere with it much at all. So this is a nifty little remote control that they give you with it as well. So if you're sat in your house and you think, oh no, I've just dropped something on the floor, you can be very lazy and just start, you know, controlling it with the remote, which is great. I mean, most of the companies, they actually include apps on your phone to do that, but I actually kind of like the old school, you know, remote control way. It just feels a lot more secure. So as you can see, you've got the Hoover button there. I'm not quite sure what that button does, but we will find out. Obviously you've got the mode button, play stop button, home button, and obviously the on and off button. So that's pretty cool. They include that in the box. Now they give you this white little box with it as well. Now inside there, which again, you know, it's pretty nice they did this. They also include a spare set of brushes and a spare filter. So obviously you're covered. That's pretty good as well. So on the charging dock and the reverse side, obviously you have the pins to put the cable in, obviously, and as I showed you before, this little slider, so obviously you can charge the virtual wall, and that's pretty much it. You just put this against the wall. One thing I do like is this pin is flat to the actual surface, as you can see there, so it's not like sticking out. So if you was to try and put this against the wall like that, it's not going to get obstructed by that cable, which is actually one thing I really do like. So up there at the top, as you can see, it's now displaying the time. It's got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday up there. So basically this is now scheduled to come out at a certain time on every single one of those days. And you can actually customize that by these buttons just here. So you have hour, minute, week, you've got time, start down the bottom there, and then you've got timer mode. And that's obviously, if you set a timer, you just press that and it will go out and do what it's got to do. Time, same thing. Start obviously will just initiate the standard cleaning. Now the screen is quite vibrant, as you can see. You can see that even from a distance, which is good. It is made out of plastic, but then again, do you know what? It doesn't need to be the toughest of materials. It's going to get the job done. So the idea is you just put this against the wall, and then once the Hoover's done doing what it will do, it will just come in, dock up, and these two magnetic pins there will instantly start charging the battery. So that's the docking station for now. Now I'm going to show you the Hoover. So this is the thing we're here for. As you can see, it's quite small. It does have some weight, but then, you know, you can kind of expect that. Obviously all of these things here you remove, so make sure you remove these before you turn it on. See that? Oh, that was so satisfying. That was so satisfying right there. So as you can see, you've got all of the controls up the top here. You have the power button, you have vacuum, home, that's the battery percentage there, the timer, and then obviously you've got collision avoidance there. So you can turn that on, and basically what that does is it will stop it obviously colliding with any objects. You turn that on and the sensors will stop that from happening, which is great. Underneath, it's the same as you would expect. It has the magnetic pins there, which is what obviously docks with the charging station and actually charges it via contact, which is great. It's got these nice rugged wheels, so obviously it shouldn't have any issues driving around, which is great. Now, if we go to the back side of the actual Hoover there, if you push this little button, you can actually pull out the tray here, and this is where all of the grit, the rubbish that it picks up once it's hoovering, is actually stored. So, as you can see, it can store a fair amount. It's a pretty decent amount of storage in there. So if you push this little clip at the side, it opens up the tray. So there is the air filter that you would actually replace with the spare one that they gave you. And then obviously you would just pull this out to empty out all of the rubbish. Put it back up. And then you just simply, it says simply, and then it doesn't go back in. Of course. Line it back up and then it's good to go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get this all set up, we'll charge it first, and it does say on the actual guide to charge this for a minimum of 24 hours before you take it out for your first hoovering session. So now what we're going to do is we're going to leave this on charge for a little while, and then we're going to come down and do a sample. I'm going to deliberately drop a load of crumbs all over my carpet and see just how well she does. Back soon. Okay guys, so before I actually show off what this Hoover can do, we've just been fiddling around with the settings on it. Now, this dock is actually very good, because if you happen to unplug it, it will remember the time and it will automatically remember your settings, which is great. If you happen to have like a power cut or something, you haven't got to sit there and figure it out, which is pretty good. I mean, as I showed. So if we turn it round again, obviously this bit on the back here is the cleaning tool for the rolling brush, which I didn't actually realise we had that until just a minute ago when I was actually unplugging it again, so that's helpful. So this remote over here, as I showed you at the beginning, now obviously you have these quick press buttons here. Obviously this turns the Hoover on, obviously that one will return it to home. Obviously that will play and stop the actual Hoover. Now, these are obviously the different modes. So you've got obviously this one, and you've got the spiral mode, which means it will go around in a spiral. And obviously you've got these other modes up the top, but obviously you can cycle through them by just pressing the mode button there. Now, if you refer to the book that I mentioned earlier on, in this little section at the bottom here, it tells you that if you press the mode button once, it will do a free cleaning mode. If you press it twice, it will do a spiral cleaning mode. If you press 3 times, it will do edgewise cleaning mode. If you press 4 times, it will do a zigzag cleaning mode. And if you press 5, it will do a polygon cleaning mode. And if you press 6, it does automatic cleaning mode. Now, I'm not quite sure what the difference between automatic cleaning mode and free cleaning mode are, but I imagine there is some sort of a difference there. I couldn't personally tell what it was, but I'm sure someone out there will be able to tell you. Also, to turn this Hoover on, if you flip it over, it's a bit dirty because I just had it running, as you can see. So if you flip it over, right where my thumb is there's the power button. You just flip that on and then turn it back over and then it's on. So now all you've got to do is just press the button on the top and you're good to go. So now what we're going to do, we're going to get this set up and we're actually going to film it and show you just what it can do. So let's get started with that. Okay guys, so as you can see, we've now got the floor cleared and the GoPro all set up ready to record this. So now what I'm going to do with the remote, I'm just going to turn it on. As you can see, it's now come on. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to press mode 2 and then I'm going to press the play button. Now let's zoom in and see what she does. As you can see there, she's now come up to the tripod and she's actually going around the tripod legs rather than actually hitting into it or stopping. So now if I use the remote again and press the mode button twice, it's now come up with mode 2, and she's now going to change to the spiral mode, as you can see. Now I'm going to change it to mode 6. And what that is now is automatic cleaning mode. So now, if I want to return her to home at any moment, if I just press the home button, it will stop what it's doing and return to the base, as you can see. And as you can see, as soon as it connects with the base, it will start charging immediately. So now, with the virtual wall device, we're now going to get this set up, and then I'll show you that this does indeed work. Okay guys, so now as you can see, we've got the Hoover disconnected from the dock. I'm going to get it started again. Now if you look round, you will see we have the virtual wall set up in the corner over there, just down there. And once it reaches that line, it will not be able to go forward. So now we'll just get it to go again. So now once it hits that line, it will not be able to go past it. It will stop and turn around. So as you can see, it hit the line, and now the sensors have told it to return and go back the way the actual Hoover is at all, which is pretty good. And there you go, she just hit the sensor yet again. So now what we're going to do, we're going to go back to the other view and finish this off. Okay guys, so as you just saw in the previous clip, apologies about the lighting situation. We tried our best with the light that we had. Now, as I said at the beginning, this is a £159 Hoover. Now, is it going to compete with the likes of, say, a Dyson V8 or, you know, like a Dyson Hoover? No, it's not. But then this is a fraction of the cost, and you don't have to do anything to, you know, to achieve that effect. You just push a button and off it goes. It will just do it. Now, as you saw in that video, the virtual wall works really well. You just, you know, turn it on by the back, and the sensors will basically tell that thing to back off, stay away, don't come over here. And do you know what? It works really well. I mean, we tested it several times. As you saw in the video, it just worked. It did a good job. So that gets a thumbs up. The docking station, again, as you saw when this was actually going back to the docking station, it was a bit jittery, like it was trying to figure out what it was doing because it was on carpet. If it's on tile, it can actually do that a lot smoother. I don't know why. Obviously it tends to, you know, be a bit jittery when it's on carpet, but other than that, it still found the home. It went back. Personally myself, I don't care if it does a swan dance on the way back to the docking station, as long as it gets there and charges the battery. That's all I care about, and it did that perfectly fine. As I said in the beginning, you do get this spare box as well of extra cleaning tips and an air filter, so obviously you are good for that. Now, just to give you an example, we had this running for 20 minutes. Now, we hoover the carpets in this house, I'd say, once every other day. And we do own a German Shepherd as well, so obviously the dog hair does mount up. I opened this just a minute ago and I was quite horrified to see. Just look at that. Damn! That thing is crammed full of dog hair and it is chock-a-block. Now there's a massive piece of paper in there as well, as you can see, and it's still managed to pick it up. That is pretty insane. Now, when you're hoovering your carpets every other day, you don't expect to find that level of dirt on your carpet or on your floor. But I mean, look at it. It is from the bottom right the way to the top. And all of that has been gathered by simply pushing a button and watching some TV. It is the ultimate lazy man's tool for keeping your house clean. Now, if you combined this with hoovering every other day, your floors would be spotless. It's quite an eye-opener when you see things like that. And it's made me want to invest in some more of these, so I've got them on the go all the time on every level of the house. So as you can see, it is definitely capable of picking up the dirt. It does a good job at doing so. I mean, I had this running for about 20 minutes and the battery barely dipped below at I think it's about 75%. I had it plugged in for about half an hour and it's beeping to tell me it's fully charged and ready to go again. The noise level, I would say, is medium. If you was watching some TV whilst you was doing it, you wouldn't notice it unless you're one of those people that doesn't like a lot of noise. But overall, you know, the modes, they work really well. The buttons, sensitive, you know, all of these work well. I mean, just by tapping the touch sensitive controls on the top here, which is exactly the same buttons that you get on the remote, it does what it needs to do. I mean, that just goes to show. And the distance is quite a long distance as well, because this was round the corner down the hallway of my house, and yet it still managed to pick up the signal. So the link for this is going to be in the description below. I can't recommend these enough. $159.99, a fraction of what one of the brand named ones are going to cost you, and it does as good of a job. I mean, is it going to be 100% perfect on the first hoover attempt? No, but the thing is, it will keep hovering over the same spot. Like, if there's a clump of dog hairs on one spot, it will keep hovering over that spot again and again and again and again until it gets it. So eventually it's going to get it. And honestly, this is one of the best devices I've actually reviewed to date, and this does get the Ninja Tech Review Gold Award, which is the first one I've ever given. It's excellent value, brilliant product. I cannot stress how good this is, and I highly recommend it. The link will be in the description below, right next to the subscribe button. Don't forget to slap the crap out of that. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.